Hi Sagittarius, this is Kay. You're on the Collective Soul Tarot channel. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to your reading. We're starting a new round. Okay, let's get started. Let's find out what Archangel Michael knows that you need to know. Knows what you need to know. Yeah. Okay, hope you're doing well. Please like and subscribe if this video, especially if this video resonates with you. I'm excited about getting a new round started. So let's find out. What are we talking about? Air magic. Air magic. Okay. Air magic. Well, air is the sword, right? So let's see what the story of that is in a moment here. Okay? Yeah. And so let's get a little Norman. Give us some more context. We have ring. So that's a commitment, right? Or contract, commitment, the ring. Okay. How about Major Arcana? Death. Death and transformation, that's a major change. Something's ending. Excuse me, so something can begin. And we have the Queen of Swords. There's your air magic. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. So some kind of truth is coming to light from it being hidden from before, not being revealed from before. The Queen of Swords is here to say, it's time. It's time for the truth to come out and for things to, to bloom from that. Let's find out what air magic means. It might just be talking through my hat here. Air magic, number 5. Does it have 5 on there? I don't see it. But that's the number for change. It's card number 5. Alright. Without air, there is no life. But unlike the earth element, which is solid and obvious, the element of air is more ephemeral and harder to visualize. You cannot, after all, hold a chunk of air in your hands the way you can a rock. So we often use something else to symbolize it, like a feather or incense. But that doesn't make it any less vital an element than earth or any less powerful. As anyone who has ever lived through a hurricane will tell you, embrace the power of air with every breath and send your appreciation out on the breeze. Let's see here. The magic. The card is telling you to do something magical connected to air. You can do the breathing exercise above or stand outside in the wind as you mindfully connect to the power of air. If you have been struggling with health or emotional issues, light a sage smudge stick and let the air waft away negativity and illness. The magic is to make a magical connection with air. Light a white or yellow candle. If you like, you can place a feather in front of it to symbolize the element. Let's see here. Yep, so that's what it's about. It's just basically about honoring this element of air. Air is breath, but it's also the truth. It's speaking your truth. Because what comes out of your mouth when you speak? Air, right? And besides words, but it's the words that you're forming in your mouth. Yeah. So we've got air magic. So speak your truth and see what comes of it, like the magic that evolves as a result of speaking your truth, like the Queen of Swords. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth, allowing it to put all falsities away, let them die, death, right? Dissolve, and bring forward only the truth. Because there's some kind of contract or commitment that is in dire need of it. Yeah, some kind of... Let's do that. All right. Let's find out more from Tarot, Sagittarius. What is your truth that you need to speak or have been speaking possibly? Something to do with a contract, perhaps a marriage, that you're in, or some kind of business relationship, family, family contract. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, a marriage, some kind of commitment like that, a contracted commitment. We have got Two of Pentacles. That's finding a way to manage something, to be able to find balance, to manage to do two things at the same time successfully. The Eight of Wands is a lot of passionate communication and powerful movement forward. We have the Judgment. That's answering the call that you are feeling like inspired to do, or feeling urged or nudged to do. Answering the call, making a decision. We have the Knight of Wands. That's you. That is energy of being spontaneous and just doing it. Just doing it. No more. No humming and hawing. Just doing it. Taking action, right? The Hermit. Okay. Hermit is seeking guidance. The Hangman, again, is seeking guidance, trying to see something from a different perspective. The Ace of Wands is being offered a new start, a new beginning, in feeling inspired, being inspired to pursue something or to do something. The Eight of Cups is leaving something behind and walking towards something else that's better. Then we have the World. That's the end of a chapter in your life. A chapter maybe of not speaking up. A chapter of not knowing that you need to speak up. The Knight of Pentacles is being methodic and doing it with, taking it slow, doing it methodically. The Chariot is then going zoom zoom after that, right? Being balanced. When you take things that you is on your path, it's your destiny kind of thing. When you do things, you want to do it in a methodical and strategic way, in the sense that you're listening to your intuition and you're following your inspiration and your guidance, but you're doing it without being impulsive. Okay, not to be impulsive. Too spontaneous, like where is the Knight of Wands? Right here. If you're too spontaneous, too impulsive, you end up actually stepping off your path and prolonging your, like the reward of achieving something. What your outcome is. Whatever your outcome is, you're actually delaying it. Because it's like instead of going straight towards something, we veer around mountains, and we have to maybe climb the mountain first, because that's become an obstacle now, because we're no longer on the straight and narrow. So it's kind of like we step off the path a little when we're too spontaneous, too impulsive. So we have to think about things and make sure that each next step that we take is something that we have been feeling guided to take, with the Hermit and the Hangman energy here. Then when you're doing that, then being in a balanced energy, okay, with the yin and the yang, with the horses, white and black, usually in these cards on the Chariot, or the lions, one's white, one's black. It's when you're in balanced energy, you're actually speeding up your pursuit. You're speeding up your outcome to be realized. You're speeding it up. So get yourself into balanced energy, thinking about it, being strategic, seeking guidance on it at every move, so that you do not delay what it is that you are meant to experience, which is going to be something good for you, that you'll enjoy, be happy with. So you'll speed it up by going slower. That makes sense. It's like the hare and the tortoise. The tortoise takes it slow and methodical, but ends up winning the race. And the hare is off. He's the one that's going on different paths, thinking he's got more time. He's got enough time because the turtle's so slow. I got enough time. I can go over here and smell the roses. Over here, just play a little bit, maybe get myself something to drink, that kind of thing, and then I'll just get back on the path and keep going. But it turns out the tortoise is methodically plowing along, and he ends up surpassing the bunny where the bunny is, and the tortoise wins. You know the story, because here's the 9 of Cups, right? And that's being, winning. That's winning, feeling really, really good. You're feeling good about how things are going, how things have went, and you're feeling good about your, the path that you're on. The whatever it is, the whatever you're pursuing, Sagittarius, even if it's something like you just want to have a really close and effectively communicative relationship with your partner, your husband or wife, or whoever it is that you're committed to. Maybe that's that's maybe just something as simple as that. It could be something you're seeking, to be able to live with your partner who you love and care for in a harmonious way. That maybe perhaps your partner or you, but let's say your partner does not have a very good, very effective communication style. So you might bring up issues about what you've got issues with your partner, and you want to talk to them about it, but they don't ever say anything. They might be feeling that they're being attacked, even if they aren't. If that's really not your intention, to make them feel attacked, and they might just be feeling attacked and they just dumb up, they clam up and they don't say anything, and they just, let you finish talking, and then they nod their head, and you get busy doing something, they get busy doing something, and that's the end of it. But as it turns out, it always comes back around again. The issue comes back around again because you really haven't solved anything. The person who is not wanting to communicate, to either explain themselves or to at least bring up some kind of points of view that would make a lot of sense as to why what you might be thinking about is not necessarily completely true or completely the right way of looking at it, right perspective. They're not bringing up those points. They find it's easier perhaps just to let you think what you think and just carry on. And they just carry on doing what they're doing the way they were doing it, even if you've had you've had conversations with them about them doing what they're doing or not doing what you want them to do, or even just talk about should we get the air conditioner replaced in the house, and they don't want to talk about it because they're not going to be doing the work anyways, and they know that you're just going to handle talking to whoever the service provider is, and you're going to make the decisions anyways. So why even bother bringing it up, or why even bother talking to you about it? You've got it under control. But that's not the way you're looking at it. You're saying, hey, this is just as much your house as mine, and I'm sure you enjoy the cool air that an air conditioner can bring just as much as I do. And so why are you not putting your 2 cents in here? Why aren't you helping me with, like, saying, well, who do you think we should get? And you might say, well, I'm thinking about this one, but is there any other air conditioner servicemen that you know about? Maybe you can talk to some people at work that obviously everybody's got air conditioning kind of thing in the United States anyways. And it's like you could talk to friends or coworkers or something and see who they've used that they're happy with. And so you might suggest that to your partner, and your partner then has a use, has a purpose. Has a purpose that you've suggested a purpose to them. You didn't tell them to do it. You just suggested it. And so they're thinking, okay, well, I'll talk to so-and-so. And you go, okay, that's a plan. Let's do that. And we'll just hold off until we learn a little bit more about the different servicemen in their area before I go ahead and call somebody who I think might be someone we can trust or work with, even though you've never worked or trusted them before. But you got to pull somebody out of the hat, right? Because your air conditioning needs to be revamped. So, anyways, it's kind of something like that, where it's just as simple as you are in a relationship, in a contract with somebody, a marriage, or some kind of commitment where you two of you are together. You might even have kids already together. So it's not something like you're just going to break apart and go your separate ways, unless it's that bad, right? That you two need to separate because neither one of you good for each other, and it's not good for the kids either. So anyways, you're going to be maybe possibly dealing with a partner, someone you're committed to, who is an ineffective communicator. And so the truth is, you need to be able to bring forth the energy of, like put any energy that has to do with being more of the, the boss, right? The boss in the relationship. You can be a woman and be the boss in the relationship. You can be a man and be the boss in the relationship. The boss is the kind of person that delegates, tells everybody what to do, right? How to do it, when to do it. And it might be too much for your partner. And your partner just doesn't want to get embroiled in your dictatorship, let's say. I'm not saying this is an example, okay? Dictatorship style, possibly. So if you were in like a type of, if you're the kind of woman, wife, or man, husband, in the relationship who wears, so-called wears the pants, right? So everything that you do and say is what's going to be done. And they're not going to consider what you have to say about it. Whereas the Queen of Swords considers what you have to say about it. They leave the emotion out of it, although the Queen of Swords has got emotional balance, because she's a queen, after all. She's one of the 4 queens. And so she's got emotional balance, and she's got the wherewithal as the Queen of Pentacles does, and she's got the Queen of Wands energy, in her too. But she has got her emotions balanced, but she's not allowing her emotions to dictate or to overwhelm a person or a situation. And so she keeps that in check, and she just deals with the facts, okay? But she's a fair fact finder, okay? She's fair fact finder. So look at this one here. The Death is pointing and saying, this one, what is it? The Queen of, I don't know, is the Queen of Hearts probably, I'm not sure. The Queen of Hearts, Alice in Wonderland, she's already killed the 5 of Spades. She killed the 5 of Spades. This is the 5 of Swords. And then there's Alice in Wonderland right there, kind of going, huh? She's got her arms crossed like women do to protect their solar plexus area, right? With the emotional center and heart, right? So the Queen of Swords is dictating, throwing out her finger and saying, you go there, off with your heads, off with your head. Off with your head. I don't like what you have to say. I don't like that you're not saying anything, so off with your head, right? And the Queen of Swords comes in and says, no. No pointing off with your head. Let's do this instead. You come here and tell me what it is you're thinking, because I want to consider all angles, right? All possibilities of what it is that we're dealing with here. And then that allows the breath, your breath, because you're speaking up, or they're speaking up, and you're speaking up in a different manner, okay? Your breath, your words comes out and creates a momentum of working together, of, what do you call it, collaboration, it creates the momentum of collaboration and brainstorming. You know, brainstorming and collaboration. So we'll go through the tarot in a second. I want to look at the back of the deck. We have the Ten of Pentacles. It's major commitment. Yeah, and abundance and prosperity, of course. Ace of Swords. There's the true beginning of speaking up truthfully, faithfully. And then we have the Page of Swords, and that is putting out the call to somebody, right? With the Star. Yeah, and they got the Four of Wands next. We don't need it. So, I mean, that's just a happy kind of celebration between the two of you, because things look good. If you follow the divination here, which is the advice that from the divine, is to, as we're dealing with some kind of contractual relationship or partnership, because this could be in business as well, you are facing somebody who is not communicating with you. Maybe you need answers from your partner in business. Maybe you need to find out what they've been up to lately. Maybe you need to find out who they've been talking to for vendors and any kind of other contracts that they're thinking about writing up between that bit, your business, and them. You kind of want to know about it, right? Because you're equal partner in it. And you haven't been hearing anything, and silence can be a good thing, but not necessarily. It could be that someone, the other half, is doing something, putting things together without your collaboration, without your brainstorming, and without your okay, you know, without you saying, I agree. And let's do this contract with this person, this company. That kind of thing. So your business partner may be getting you into a contractual situation that legally it may not be in the business's best interest. And if it's not in the business's best interest, it's not in your best interest. So let's have a look. We got the Two of Pentacles. That's needing to juggle successfully, managing things. So you might be the spouse that's trying to manage the household, let's say, and trying to deal with your partner's lack of communication, or just working with your partner. You're trying to successfully manage having the house, the home, the yard, and everything else, taking care of the vehicles with insurance and paying taxes and anything else, the kids, and managing how difficult it is to get your partner involved, because whenever you want to talk to them, they clam up, or they just get maybe reticent and say, you know, you don't need to hear what I have to say. You're just going to do whatever you want to do anyways, or what does it matter what I have to think? What does it matter if I say anything? You know, just being reticent, difficult, right? So you're doing the juggling out here. And the Eight of Wands could also mean that there's a lot of arguments between the two of you. You and your business partner, you and your romantic partner. Arguments back and forth, going back and forth, really, like I said, you'd be saying, well, what should we do about the air conditioning? And they'll say, well, what does it matter what I have to say? You know, that kind of thing. So you might argue about that. Like, why would you say that to me? And they'll say, well, you always shut me down every time I suggest something. It's never good enough. So, you know, I'm not saying you're like that, but I'm just saying what I know about how people communicate with each other. And then it comes down to judgment. They may be feeling like that you judge them, or you may be feeling that they're judging you in a way that's not fair, and that's why they bring, you know, conflict, arguments into the need to communicate. At the time of communication, the Knight of Wands may be that someone feels like you're being too spontaneous, you're being too impulsive, or you might have that argument with them. You're usually too impulsive or too spontaneous. You just open up the phone book. You open up the phone book and you put the hand over your eyes and you point. Okay, we'll do it with that guy. No, We're not going to pick our AC service provider like that. And they're going to say, well, that's because, you don't have any faith in me and in my ability to pick an appropriate service provider. You know, they're judging you, saying that you're picking on them. You're not being fair, maybe bullying them, you know, stuff like that, petty stuff. The Hermit, you seeking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? God, what am I going to do with this person, this woman, this guy that I'm in business with or I'm in a relationship with? Please tell me, what am I going to do? What do I need to see? What am I not seeing that I need to see? That's you hanging upside down, getting a new perspective and enlightenment at the same time by seeking, what can I do about this? I don't want to keep arguing with my person. I love this partnership with them. I love this romantic relationship with them. I don't want to not be with this person. But we have a terrible way of communicating, if at all. And so the divine inspires you, gives you an opportunity to become inspired. And what do you think that's going to be, right? It's the inspiring is for you to walk away from an investment in the way you your communication style. It's you being asked to tweak your way of your communication strategy with your partner, whether it's business or romantic, because clearly, however it is that you're communicating right now, Sagittarius, isn't working. It's not working, so it's a matter of making some adjustments. And you don't have to, it's not like, okay, I'm a bad person, I don't know how to communicate with my partner, therefore I'm the one who's wrong. I'm wrong. No. It's just a matter of you were raised in a certain way. Maybe you take after your mother or you take after your father when it comes to household, taking care of the things in the house, right? The kids in the house, getting things done. Maybe your mother was more of like the take charge, do it all the time. And so you being raised with them, you would have observed this and thinking that's the way you got to do it. So you are maybe going to be talking to your partner the way your mother talked to their partner, your dad, or whoever you were raised by. Or it was like your dad was the authoritarian dude who said, you know, I'm the man of the house, therefore whatever I say goes. Whatever I say goes, and you do it. So if you're raised in that kind of environment, it's no fault of your own that you sponged it up, you soaked it up. As to how apparently this is how it works in a relationship, because maybe your parents, although they might have bickered and all that sort of stuff, they remained together, let's just say. And so you said, even if they didn't remain together, it's something that you learned. They trained you to be that kind of communicator. All right? So you cannot blame yourself, but you are an adult now, so that's where this comes from. Being an adult, you're no longer under anyone's thumb or control. With your parents, you're not living with your parents anymore. You're an adult and you've got your own life. And so being an adult, it's now within your purview and your energy, your rights too, to be able to make necessary changes, tweaks in the way we believe in things, the way we think, and the way we do things. So if our beliefs are getting us into trouble and not getting us what we really desire to happen, then it's about looking at a belief that we may have taken on since childhood, that maybe we need to tweak it. It may need to be changed. So just a tweak, just a tweak. So, for example, it could be something like, all right, I usually say something like, yeah, I noticed the air conditioning doesn't seem to be blowing as cold air as it usually does. Do you think we need some Freon? I'm going to go and get, call up somebody and tell them they need to bring some Freon. And your partner might be saying, well, maybe it's not the Freon, maybe it's just the unit is too old. I mean, it is, after all, 15 years old or whatever, and the max they usually last for is 15 years. And so your person might be saying, well, look, if you're going to get someone over here, don't tell them that it's just Freon that they need to do with the system. Ask them to have a look at it to see if there's anything else going on. Now, any reputable AC serviceman would have done that anyways, but I'm just using this as an example. So you are might be type of person who plans things and takes charts and takes all the necessary steps, and bing, bam, boom, it's done without anyone else's input. It's just taken care of. And, you feel good about that. You feel powerful, but you also feel very resolved, like you're happy that you're able to do that, to stand up and take charge of things that need to be taken care of, and you get it done. You get her done, right? And, but your partner might be saying, you know what, I sure would be nice if I had been consulted too. Just kind of consulted. If you're going to go be, if you think it's Freon, and it's kind of interesting that you might think it's Freon, or your partner might have said, if they felt like they could. Who knows if they can or not? But they might have said, well, I didn't know you went to air conditioning or HVAC school and learned all about air conditioning and heating appliances. Being facetious, sarcastic, right? And you're going, oh, come on now. I'm just guessing that it could be Freon. Well, if you're just guessing it's Freon, why don't we, your partners might be saying, why don't we at least call somebody in that we know is reputable and get them to look at the whole system, and not just have them come in and tell them we just want you to fill it up with Freon. And they charge us $250 for that. And the Freon ends up dissolving, being released and depleted, whatever, in a couple months' time, or if not sooner, and we're back at square one again. What do you think about that? And you might say, hey, you know what? That's a good suggestion. Why don't, could you talk to maybe somebody at work, now that we go back to that suggestion, right? Could you maybe talk to somebody at work instead of me trying to find somebody that I don't know anything about and having them come over? I would at least like to find out from people in the area who they've been using, who they feel they can trust. So that kind of thing is when I'm talking about tweaking it a little bit, just considering the other person's point of view, perspective, and suggestions, right? So it's you have to, you're saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I not seeing? How am I not looking at this properly? And you're being inspired to make some tweaks. Inspired to make some tweaks, to have a new beginning by tweaking the way you have, you generally communicate with your person. And that's you walking away from the old investment, the old beliefs, and the way you learned how to deal with these situations with people. Okay, because you were raised a certain way, possibly, or you just saw it in your siblings. Again, that's just you being raised that way. Your siblings deal with it that way, so you think, well, that's the way you got to do it. So it's about me putting an end to an old chapter of following in my parents' or my siblings' footsteps in how I communicate, what my communication style was. Maybe you don't have even a very good communication style, in the sense that you might be the one where your partner is bringing up something and you go, mum's a word, I'm not saying anything, and you walk away. And they're going, hold on, like, where are you going? You haven't said anything, that kind of thing. It might be you. So that again would be you are the one to, they need to, and you need to. It's neither one is better than the other. It's just that both of you have to change. You have to tweak your communication style, because it's not effective. It's not magical. It's not creating and manifesting that all which you would want to experience in your life. So you're being asked to end it, right? With the world and the death. Your whole energy is changing from, I don't know who, to some kind of dictator, if it's that, or somebody who is not a very effective, like not communicating, not saying anything, just saying, come on, I want to hear what you have to say. Come on, I want your input, kind of thing. So the Knight of Pentacles, again, it's all about you put the chapter to an end. You've got a brand new chapter going on in your life, new way of doing it, tweaking it, taking it slow and methodical, being strategic, and just being mindful of how you might come across, tone-wise, words-wise. Are they feeling like you're judging them? Are they feeling like, are you feeling like they're judging you? Are you feeling like they are trying to make you feel bad? You know, thinking about stuff like that, so that when you bring that balance in, because you're becoming the Queen of Swords energy, and you're bringing the balance in, and so then it's zoom, zoom, right? Fast movement, fairly quick movement forward, not as fast as a plane. This is like a vehicle going across the planet, right? On the road. Bringing celebration, you know, you feeling good about how things are going between you and your person, business or otherwise. You and your person, you're feeling good about how things are moving along. Ten of Pentacles, feeling like, yeah, I can stay committed. I can stay in this relationship with my person. I can stay in this partnership with my partner. You know, the business guy, gal, or whoever. Things don't have to end. It's just a matter of us becoming more effective communicators. The Ace of Swords, that's, you know, that is the divine's giving us an opportunity to a brand new start, not only with being inspired about how to do it, you know, what to do and how to do it. It's also about just seeking the truth and speaking the truth. Seeking and speaking your truth. Okay, with the Page of Swords, as you now putting out the word or receiving the word, either putting it out to some kind of, like, for the example, the servicemen that your partner had talked to the co-workers, and they said, yeah, we've used these guys, and someone else, the co-worker, says, yeah, I use that guy too, and we really like him, they're really good about this, and they're fair price, and all this sort of stuff, and that when you need them, they show up, that kind of thing. So you're either going to get contacted with the Page of Swords from a service person that you have put a call into, or you are now reaching out to that service person that you and your person have agreed on contacting, you know, bringing in to assess the situation. With the Star, and that is like, that's your wish fulfillment. You're getting your wish fulfillment, and it has everything to do with communication, believe it or not. What is the most important thing between people when it comes down to anything? What is the most important thing that we cannot get by, no matter how hard we might try to avoid it? What's the most important thing between people? Communication. Absolutely. So there's where we're at. This could be a reading all about your communication style or the communication style of the other, but, you know, it takes two to tango, right? So if there's some tweaking on your side, there's definitely some tweaking on their side. Okay, guys, I hope that that's helpful to you, and take care of yourself. Bye for now.